below the upper deck propel this ship.
That's pretty cool,
You
isn't it?
Take your son to this.
I think so. The crew team should go on a field trip.
That's a big ship. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right after this. Right now at 5, a safety reminder from law enforcement tonight after a woman was grabbed by a man after an Iowa County crash.
Foxconn is holding a 2-day event to get UW-Madison students excited to start working for their company. We'll hear from a hopeful future employee.
Yeah, the city of Janesville asking for the community's help as work is underway to renovate the heart of the city.
This is News 3 at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3. Law enforcement is encouraging drivers who are in crashes to remain in their vehicles until help arrives.
This comes after a woman says she was attacked by a man following a car accident Sunday. Our Keely Arthur has a breakdown of what happened in Iowa County.
Well, this is a really troubling situation. The woman collided with a deer and was left stranded as a result. While she waited for police to arrive, things became even more dangerous. According to the Iowa County Sheriff's Office, a dark-colored Impala drove up. A man wearing a camouflage shirt got out, asked her if she hit the deer, then allegedly grabbed her. The woman says she was able to slam her door, locking herself inside. This happened on Highway 151 in Dodgeville. Authorities say they haven't been able to reach the victim since and don't have a suspect. However, they hope everyone uses this as a learning opportunity for what to do if you're in a similar situation. Stay in your car with the doors locked.
If they had good intent, they would just say, okay, that's great, we'll move on. If they had ill intent, they would be hopefully, scared off by the fact that law enforcement's on its way.
If you are in a minor crash involving another person, you need to exchange insurance information first, but then you can leave right afterward. Now, Chief Bauer says there are very few situations where officers need you to stay at the scene of the crash. They would much rather you go somewhere else that is safe.
Important safety reminder tonight. Keely Arthur reporting. Keely, thank you. In Barron County, the search for missing 13-year-old Jamie Kloss continues. The sheriff's office there gathered together 100 community volunteers this afternoon to scour an area for evidence that could perhaps provide some clues as to the young girl's disappearance and her parents' death as well. They were found shot to death in their home early Monday. Jamie's been ruled out as a suspect and has been missing ever since. Investigators believe she is still in danger.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is in the Weather Center. Gary?
Susan, we had a pretty nice day today. We started out on the cool side, but temperatures warmed up quickly, the air being dry and the skies being sunny. In fact, as we take a look at visible cloud tracking, you can hardly see a cloud anywhere around the state of Wisconsin. Temperature trend over the last 24 hours shows that it got rather chilly last night. Temperatures dropped into the upper 20s, but you can see how quickly the temperatures rose this afternoon as the sun came out and warmed us up. Last night here in Madison, we dropped to 27 degrees for our overnight low temperature. It was as cold as 18 up in Black River Falls, but current temperatures are in the 50s to the lower 60s. Black River Falls was in the upper teens last night. They're at 63 degrees right now. Temperatures a little cooler, closer to Lake Michigan. By tomorrow morning, temperatures won't be quite as chilly, probably currently drop into the lower to middle 40s. Now, clear skies will turn mostly cloudy by tomorrow morning, with just a slight chance for a shower overnight into tomorrow morning, and then look for some sunshine later tomorrow afternoon. Our high temperature topping out at 57. That's your First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. President Trump has approved a Wisconsin disaster declaration. The state will be provided with federal assistance to supplement state and local recovery efforts in the areas that were hit with the severe storms, the tornadoes, straight-line winds, flooding, and landslides in August and September. The federal disaster declaration makes funding available for Crawford, Dane, Juneau, La Crosse, Monroe, Richland, Sauk, and Vernon counties. The assistance would come in the form of grants for temporary housing and home repairs, low-cost loans, and other programs for those recovering after the disaster.
Madison police are looking for 2 suspects connected to a shooting that happened in an apartment building on the near west side last night. Police responded to an apartment building in the 4500 block of Hammersley Road around 9. Officers say they found a 30-year-old man with a gunshot wound in his torso when they arrived at the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital and is in stable condition. Investigators believe the shooting was motivated by a robbery. Police say they do not have a description of the suspects.
6 juveniles were taken into custody early this morning after they led law enforcement on pursuits through Dane and Greene counties. Just after 1 this morning, a Belleville officer responded to a call of 2 suspicious vehicles driving around the village. When the officer tried to make contact, those 2 vehicles took off, triggering a pursuit. Eventually, deputies were able to stop 1 vehicle where 3 teenagers were taken into custody and transported to the Juvenile Reception Center. Officers were then able to locate that 2nd vehicle. 3 occupants of that vehicle took off on foot and were eventually caught by canine officers. All were transported as well to the Juvenile Reception Center. Both cars had been reported stolen.
Technology giant Foxconn is looking to hire several hundred jobs across the state of Wisconsin.
The Taiwanese company is spending time recruiting students on the UW-Madison campus this week. News 3's Rose Schmidt joins us now. She's in the news center to tell us more. Rose?
That's right. Well, today and tomorrow, students and staff had the chance to learn more about the company's career opportunities for all kinds of fields, from engineering to sales and marketing. It's all part of a partnership between Foxconn and the university announced back in August.
We're here today for Foxconn Day.
An opportunity for UW-Madison students to explore
focusing on finding engineers.
career opportunities.
I'm a computer engineering student in my 3rd year, and normally juniors are looking for internships.
And talk to job recruiters.
Foxconn's about to be a big industry in Wisconsin, so I'm just kind of interested in seeing what they do, and this seems like the best way to do it.
Eli Laposte is from Lake Mills, and he's hoping to stay in-state after he graduates, maybe even end up at the new Foxconn facility in Racine County.
I'd love to work there, just stay a little bit closer to home.
Foxconn is a Taiwanese company that makes screens for electronics. It chose Wisconsin for its first plant outside of Asia after receiving a generous incentive package from the state, and it's extending that partnership to the university.
Foxconn Day is part of the Foxconn commitment to UW-Madison, to the state of Wisconsin, for the creation of Wisconsin Valley.
That commitment is a $100 million investment in engineering and innovation research at the university. It includes a new research institute called FIRST, based in Mount Pleasant, plus a new facility coming to UW-Madison's engineering quad.
It will provide our college with a new state-of-the-art multidisciplinary building that will create synergy among UW-Madison faculty, staff, and students.
That will eventually mean hiring more staff, new research projects,
It's 100% renewable.
and booths and tables at Foxconn Day are just giving students a taste.
I thought that was really cool that they're trying to have it be totally renewable energy, so it's like they have solar and wind farms and everything running the whole building.
Hoping to pique their interests and help them break into the field.
I mean, it's a big deal that they're here because, I mean, manufacturing hasn't been big in Wisconsin for a while, and it's kind of nice to see new industries popping up.
Foxconn Day is also happening tomorrow, and students looking for jobs or internships should bring their resumes. They can also learn about a new Foxconn competition open to all students and staff at any college in Wisconsin. Foxconn says it will award up to $1 million in prize money to create new technologies and concepts.
A lot going on. Rose Schmidt in the News Center. Rose, thank you.
Leaders of multiple groups in Wisconsin are demanding a change in the November election. Black leaders organizing for communities, Voces de la Frontera, Women's March Wisconsin, and Moms Demand Action joined One Wisconsin at the state capitol today. They say Governor Walker and the Republican legislative majorities have failed to address issues important to them, and they're urging everyone to make their voices heard by voting in the upcoming election.
We can sit in the offices of these elected officials and we can beg them to care about us, but it isn't until they are no longer in their offices and they are replaced with people who already care about us before they even make it to that office that we will truly achieve the change that we have always deserved.
The candidates for governor are participating in a face-to-face debate tomorrow. Incumbent Scott Walker and challenger Tony Evers face off Friday night at 8 o'clock right here on WISC-TV. Our political reporter Jessica Arp will be part of the panel asking questions in the debate, which is sponsored by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Residents in Janesville are being asked to contribute money to help downtown grow as a public capital campaign was announced today.
Brock County reporter Adam Duxter tells us how the public can help to complete renovations in the heart of the city.
Well, workers are still putting the final touches on Janesville's town square, and today leaders from Forward Janesville showed people how they can donate to this project. At a lunch today, city leaders and influencers learned that the Arise project has completed nearly half of its $10 million fundraising goal. Now those from Forward Janesville are opening a public campaign, attempting to raise a total of $1.5 million. Those involved say improving downtown is a community effort.
The campaign isn't about one benefactor or two benefactors that are supporting it. It's really about 66,000 benefactors. So it's every person that represents Janesville to support what's happening in our community.
Contributions would help continue to pay for things like the town square, home to an amphitheater and interactive water feature. Donations can be made on the Forward Janesville website. Now, Festival Street will open next week, but that's not the end of the changes in downtown Janesville. Those with Forward Janesville told me today you can expect to see more projects continuing to revamp the downtown area.
That's Adam Duxter reporting. Game 6 of the National League Championship Series will be in Milwaukee tomorrow night. The Dodgers beat the Brewers last night to take the series lead 3-2. Milwaukee has to win the next 2 in order to advance to the World Series. Wade Miley is expected to start on the mound for real tomorrow night for the Brewers. Start time set for 7:39. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee-based George Webb Restaurant offering free burgers right now. The restaurant chain running that promotion in honor of the Brewers' 12-game win streak that occurred last week. Each person may receive 1 burger along with other discounted items from the regular menu, including $1 fries, $3 double cheeseburgers, $2 onion rings. That promotion goes through 6 o'clock tonight. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at 5. The latest on the missing journalist in Saudi Arabia, how the president plans to receive some answers on Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance.
And the investigation into sexual misconduct at USA Gymnastics is still ongoing as another member of the organization is arrested.
And another day of big losses on Wall Street. The Dow off 327 points. The Nasdaq lost almost 158, and the S&P dropped 40. We'll be right back. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with President Trump in the Oval Office after a trip to Saudi Arabia to discuss the disappearance of Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi.
The president said one of his first questions will be whether Turkey is willing to hand over a recording that Turkish media reports proves Khashoggi was murdered and dismembered soon after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd. Saudi Arabia and Turkey have said they will wrap up their own investigations into Khashoggi's disappearance soon.
At which point we can make decisions about how or if the United States should respond to the incident surrounding Mr. Khashoggi.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin tweeted that he, along with President Trump and Secretary Pompeo, have all decided against participating in an upcoming business summit in Saudi Arabia.
The former head of USA Gymnastics is in custody in Tennessee. Last night, the USA Gymnastics president Steve Penny was taken into custody by deputy U.S. Marshals, accused of tampering with evidence at the famed Caroli Ranch. He is accused of ordering documents to be taken from the ranch where elite gymnasts trained, and Larry Nassar victims say they were abused. John Manley represents 180 of Nassar's accusers. He says a broader investigation of the U.S. Olympic Committee and USA Gymnastics is required.
There needs to be subpoenas served, search warrants served, and testimony given. Hopefully this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, Steve Penny is not the only person who covered this up.
Manley says dozens of children were abused by Nassar after Penny admitted in 2015 that he knew about Nassar's abuse.
Marijuana is now legal for recreational use in 9 states and the District of Columbia, but new research shows that could be leading to more accidents on the road. Authorities tracking accidents in the San Francisco area predict there will be a 142% jump in the number of traffic collisions involving drivers under the influence of marijuana by the end of the year. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety looked at Colorado, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington, and they found the number of collision insurance claims rose as much as 6% in those states compared to neighboring states where marijuana is still illegal.
The difficulty is unlike alcohol, where you can actually measure a blood alcohol concentration level, you can't do that currently with marijuana.
Police departments are now training officers to better recognize drivers who are high, and several states are testing new devices like saliva swabs that can identify drugs in the system.
All right, let's go to the backyard patio. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti standing by with the latest on our forecast. Gary?
Well, it's actually a pretty nice day today. The skies have been sunny. We started off cool, but we warmed up quickly with the air being so dry. And as we check out our temperatures over the next 7 days, expect the cool weather to continue. Tomorrow, still pretty close to normal, the high of 57. We could see a few showers tomorrow morning. But on Saturday, the high of 44 will be in the morning with temperatures holding nearly steady around that level for much of the day. Sunday will be back to the upper 40s, but there'll also be a brisk wind, so that'll just add to the chill. Monday, temperatures should be back close to normal, and then we drop off a little bit for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then see another chance of showers by Thursday of next week. I don't see any big warm-up in the foreseeable future. Now, as we take a look at the Climate Prediction Center, this is actually the temperature outlook for December of 2018, January, and February of 2019. This is their winter outlook. It's calling for above normal temperatures through much of the northern and western parts of the country, with the highest probabilities of above normal temperatures over the Pacific Northwest, but about a 40% chance of above normal temperatures in our part of Wisconsin. And precipitation, we're expecting below normal precipitation in the eastern portion of the Midwest and also over the northern plains, above normal precipitation through the southwestern part of the country and especially over the southeast. And that's very typical of an El Nino weather pattern, which is expected to set up for the upcoming winter. Now, as we take a look at the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, skies are mostly sunny there. The WISC Skycam not showing any clouds at all, and the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing still a few boats out on Lake Mendota. As we check out the almanac for today, we started out chilly this morning. Low temperature dropped to 27 degrees, but our high temperature right where it should be at 58. And right now we're sitting at 57 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Winds are out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour. Now, as we check out low temperatures this morning, they were pretty chilly. Northern parts of the state had temperatures in the upper 20s. A few places were in the teens, even as nearby as Black River Falls in west central Wisconsin. But these current temperatures have warmed up very nicely. They're in the middle 60s through western Wisconsin, even seeing some 70s. 70s show up to the west of Minnesota. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that warm. A cold front will eventually drop our temperatures by tomorrow night. Weather track shows the jet stream in a west to east pattern right now, bringing in some milder Pacific air. The subtropical jet stream, the southern branch of the jet stream, bringing more moisture to a part of the country that doesn't need it. Texas, they're seeing more showers and thunderstorms there, but much of the rest of the country looking pretty quiet. So you can see those showers and thunderstorms moving through Texas into Oklahoma, but that's keeping all the rain to our south of us as high pressure is located just out to our southeast. So winds are breezy, they're out of the southwest, but temperatures are pretty nice, 50s here, but 60s and 70s to the west of us. Now on future track, as that high moves off to the east, skies will become cloudy overnight, and we could see a couple of showers by tomorrow morning. Those will end with some clearing later tomorrow afternoon, but the next weather system dropping in from the northwest could bring us a rain shower, maybe even mixed with a few flakes of snow Saturday morning. So for tonight, clear and milder for much of the night, and then cloudy with rain developing, a chance of a rain shower toward tomorrow morning with a low of 43. Tomorrow's high 57 with the best chance of rain showers in the morning, maybe a little clearing in the afternoon. Future track, you can see those clear skies giving way to clouds late tonight with lows in the lower 40s. Rain shower chances mainly tomorrow morning, maybe some clearing late in the day with highs in the upper 50s. Tomorrow night, quiet, but showers coming in from the north and west, and those could mix with a few flakes of snow Saturday morning before ending. Look at those temperatures staying in the 40s overnight. Rainfall amounts really won't amount to very much, probably less than 1/10 of an inch in most areas. 7 to 10 day forecast, though, calls for cool weather for the weekend. I've brought the temperatures down a bit next week with highs mainly in the low to mid 50s and some shower chances toward the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, another busy day on the Beltline. The traffic nearly stopped in the westbound direction at Park Street. In the eastbound direction, not moving much faster. Seeing delays eastbound from around West Broadway all the way back to west of Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Fish Hatchery Road and head back to John Nolan Drive. Right now, a half hour heading eastbound on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 22 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, about 27 minutes to Janesville on I-3990, 23 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12. There are some delays north of Middleton, and also 23 minutes out to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Ahead on News Read 5, how do students learn what to do in a school shooting? We'll take you inside a classroom for an active shooter drill. A school shooting and bomb attack in Crimea is being dubbed Russia's Columbine.
Police say a teenage student opened fire, killing at least 20 people before turning the gun on himself. The gunman set off a homemade bomb on campus before he started shooting. Security video shows the suspect buying ammunition before using it at his school. Investigators say the motive is unclear, and they're looking into whether he had an accomplice.
When the rise in deadly school shootings across the nation has forced many communities to reevaluate safety measures.
CBS News correspondent Vladimir Dutier visited an elementary school in Ohio that has a plan to keep students safe.
All right, boys and girls, we need to lock the door.
This is an active shooter drill at Beverly Gardens Elementary School in Riverside, Ohio.
Make sure you have something in your hand.
Fourth grade teacher Stephanie Thornton leads her students through the drill, one they have done many times before. The school began practicing for the unthinkable after the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre.
Okay, quick.
Some students tell us they're afraid of doing these drills.
I'm scared because if something actually really happens, it could hurt me or any one of my friends.
Others are reassured.
Because if somebody were to actually come in here, we would be safe because we know everything to do.
The reason we wanted to show this to parents across the country is many parents know that their kids are now sadly participating in active shooter drills, just like the one we witnessed, but they've actually never seen it themselves.
It's very emotional.
I saw you crying a little
yeah.
as you were witnessing.
Just knowing that this is her reality, this is our nation's students' reality, and that we have to have these discussions of why we're doing this.
This school has also taken the controversial step of arming some teachers and staff.
They're not carrying weapons on them in the classroom.
Correct. So we have safes strategically placed throughout the building for those staff members that have access to firearms. And they go through extensive training. I think that's a misconception.
School officials say the training is evolving. Students will soon be taught what steps to take if their teacher becomes incapacitated. Vladimir Dutier, CBS News, Riverside, Ohio.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment. Finally at 5, it is a hat fitting for Milwaukee Brewer fans.
The company Foamation created the classic cheesehead, and now they're back with the beer cheesehead. Each hat is done by hand, so each one comes out a little different. The beer cheesehead is just one of some of 50 items that Foamation creates right here in Wisconsin.
Always coming up with something.
What do I think of next?
Let's go to Gary Canalti. He's back. Final check of the forecast, Gary.
Yeah, pretty nice out there right now. Temperatures are in the mid-50s to around 60 degrees compared to 24 hours ago. Our temperatures have gone up 10 degrees compared to where we were yesterday at this time. Tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s, but we'll see some showers in the morning and then some shower chances on Saturday, maybe mixed with a few flurries north of Madison. Cool for much of next week.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6. CBS Evening News is next.